John, what is the timeline right now, as best you understand, in regards to Amari Cooper? Do you think he'll be ready for Oxnard, or is that something that could drag a little bit into like week 2 or week 3?
Yeah, in terms of him, hitting the ground running, like on the very first day doing everything, I doubt that. I just not necessarily any setbacks or anything like that, but just the way that the Cowboys generally operate when it comes to a guy that's coming off of an off-season surgery or an injury. They usually err on the side of caution. And so, I think he'll be out there. I just think what will happen is early on, you'll see him doing a lot of like individual stuff off to the side, and he probably won't be a full go in every like team drill, but he'll probably work in. But, I've heard nothing that makes me think he won't be ready for the start of the season. And frankly, I don't think anybody should care if he participates in any preseason games. I mean, you should know by now what you have in Amari Cooper. And if anything, it kind of helps you give more reps to guys like maybe a Simi Fehoko, who could be a big time contributor for you if, let's say, one of those your star receivers go down. Maybe it gives more opportunity to Cedric Wilson or Noah Brown, or maybe like Paul, you mentioned the undrafted guys. Maybe some guy gets more playing time in the preseason. Maybe you can get some looks with the ones just because of that. So I don't think that there's any reason to be worried about his availability for week 1, but don't be alarmed when you see after that first practice that, Amari Cooper was limited or just worked off to the side with athletic trainers.
How much do you expect to see Tyron Smith really go in camp?
I expect to see him out there probably what he normally would do, which, he's going to have. That was always the thing with Jason Garrett, is that, these veteran guys over, they've been with the team, been major contributors for an extended period of time. There would just be those days where you're like, oh yeah, this guy isn't going today, whether it be a Zach Martin, a Tyron, a Jason Witten, Romo, whatever. I think that's all you're going to see. You're going to see him get his mandatory, veteran days off, things like that. The only thing though here's the only difference that stands out to me though, looking at this year's training camp schedule compared to some of those under Jason Garrett, is Jason Garrett often would go 3 days on, 1 day off. And that's changed this year. I mean, they only have 12 practices, and there's very rarely where they're going more than 2 days. It's usually 1 day, 2 days and then an off day, and then 2 days and an off day. So I think that they're going to get a lot of rest in between. So I just don't see a reason that Tyron can't go for the majority of it, because again, even though it's full pads, they're not always tackling to the ground and doing things like that. But he also needs to be out there because they need to build the cohesiveness of this offensive line back up, just because it's been so long since this group has all played together as five, playing together as one. And so I don't think he's going to play a lot necessarily in the preseason, but I think he should be a regular participant in training camp. I don't see any reason that they need to hold him back now.